Okay, guys. UFC Perth this weekend. For me, it starts at 1 a.m. Main card 4 a.m. Prelims 1 a.m. Yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. I'm blessed not to have to wake up at that time, like for the Australians and for the UK people, European people who have to wake up at that time every single card. But I like these like midnight cards sometimes. I like staying up and just pulling like a 24-hour all day all nighter and watching UFC like at that time. I'll probably take a nap honestly earlier and re-wake up. But sometimes I like just staying up, running games until then and then dipping and watching some fights. And then you start the day. Anyways, we're going to do our predictions for this card. I'm going to change it up a bit by starting top to bottom. Normally I do bottom to top, but I'm going to go top to bottom this time because, I don't know. I normally don't do that, but we're going to start with the interesting cards because I don't even know if you guys watched till the end of the video or you just skip to the end. So I'm going to start with it so you don't even got to skip if you guys even care about any of these picks. But so that's how I'm going to get them out of the way first. Anyways, let's get into it. We're going to start with the main event. Main event, Jack Della Maddalena versus Carlos Prates. Number 1 versus number 5. I am going to go with, this is a really good matchup, very good striking matchup. I think minimal grappling, and I'm going to be very surprised if this goes 5 rounds. But I'll be surprised if JDM or if Prates gets knocked out. I'm going to be very surprised. But I'm also going to be surprised if these guys are just swinging and slugging for 5 straight rounds. And they just last. So I'll be surprised regardless which way this goes, to be honest. But maybe decisions more. I don't know, man. I said maybe decisions more likely because JDM went to decisions his last 2 fights. But then also Prates knocks everyone out that he beats. So it's like, damn, bro, this is crazy. Anyways, my prediction for the main event, I'm going to go with Jack Della Maddalena. I feel like Prates has that one-shot knockout power. And I feel like he's going to hit. Obviously, he's going to connect onto Jack. But I feel like Jack is not going to get knocked out. And I feel like Jack's going to be able to withstand that. And the reason I think JDM's going to win is because I feel like JDM has slicker boxing. He's going to throw more in combos. And he's very good at getting up from takedowns if Prates does go for takedowns. JDM, if he does get taken down, he's going to be good to get back up. But I think his boxing and his combos, how slick his boxing is and his combos are really going to help him in this fight to outpoint Prates. And so I'm going to go JDM by decision. So I think he's going to outpoint him. And I'm a bit scared because when Kamaru Usman lost the belt, he went on a 3-fight lose streak. When Leon Edwards lost the belt, he went on a 3-fight lose streak. And when Bilal lost the belt, he's currently on a 2-fight lose streak. He might lose to Bonfim, and that would be a 3-fight lose streak. But JDM just lost the belt. Is this the 3-fight losing streak in effect here? I'm scared of that little curse. But I think Jack's still going to get it done by decision. And yeah, man, I'm very excited for this. I'm not going to be mad if Prates wins or if Prates... I'm going to be a little sad if Prates knocks him out. But if Prates still wins, I think it's... I think he's still an exciting fighter, obviously. And I just feel like, honestly, both these guys probably won't even beat Islam. Like, I don't think Prates beats Islam and JDM just lost to Islam. So, it's a sticky situation. Because, like, the winner doesn't really matter for the title right now. They're probably going to have, obviously, one more fight before them because there's Ian Gary, maybe Morales. I don't know. But there's a couple... There's time to get another fight in before the title shot after this fight. But, yeah, man. But, yeah, I really want Jack to win. And I think his boxing and how well he boxes in combos is going to be able to outpoint Prates. And he's going to be able to get a decision where Prates will be going for bigger moments and bigger shots, heavier shots. And I think Jack will be able to eat the shots, block the shots, and wither the power punches of Prates. So we're gonna go with Jack by decision. Benil Dariush versus Quillen Southfield. I saw someone on Twitter saying Southfield's a bit overrated, and maybe for how much hype he has, he is, but he's still really, really good. I think. Like people are saying I don't know, he beats Ilya or whatever, maybe, right? Like that's a little much right now. But I do think he's really, really good. And I think he's gonna beat Benil Dariush. I think he's gonna win by TKO. I think he's gonna catch him and he's gonna do some follow-up shots. And Benil's just gonna try and defend and he's gonna get finished that way. Benil lost his last 4 fights. 3 of them by KO. And he got a win in between, which was against Moicano, where he did get dropped by Moicano, but he still came back to win that fight. So, but Moicano's not young and hungry like Quillen is, and I think Quillen's gonna make the most of this moment to get into the rankings, and I think he's gonna win by TKO. But this is a very good card, by the way. It's a very, very good card. Tim Elliott versus Steve Ercik. I'm gonna go with the underdog, plus 320. I'm gonna go with Tim Elliott for the fact of how Steve Ercik has been moving. Obviously lost to Pantoja, not a bad loss, and it was really close. It was a really close fight, but lost to Pantoja. Then loses to Kai Kara France, where he's decent, he's pretty good. And then lost to Moreno, which at the time I guess is not a horrible loss, but since then Moreno's gone downhill. And then the short notice Ode Osborne fight was a little rough. Short notice for Ode Osborne. Steve Ercik had a full camp, and Osborne's cracking you and dropping you, and Ercik came back in that fight, but it should have been a cleaner performance, I think, against an unranked, not a high level flyweight. So, and Tim Elliott, he's very awkward with his striking, the way he moves, and he has good grappling. And I think his movement's gonna throw Ercik off. And I think when he does get to the ground, it's gonna be close on the ground, but like back and forth. But I think in the striking wise, Tim Elliott's gonna psych him out a bit. I'm gonna maybe go decision, maybe a submission for Tim Elliott, but I'm gonna go with decision. And yeah, decent sized underdog by Tim Elliott, but I just haven't seen much from in his last 4 fights. The Pantoja one, he looked good. The Kai Kara France one, finished in the first round, but still didn't look great. And Moreno fight didn't look great in the Moreno fight, and the Ode Osborne fight had his moments of not looking great either. So, where Tim Elliott, he was out for a while, but came back, beat Kaya Sakura, which he's not all that. Like, if he loses to Smotherman, that's really bad, but he should beat Smotherman. But obviously not all that, but still a good win for Tim Elliott for how long he was out and the guy who just fought for the title. So, I'm gonna go Tim Elliott. Next fight, Shamil Gaziev versus Brando Pericic. I'm not sure, man. Not sure, because Shamil's 2 losses are only to good guys like Rosenstrike and Waldo Cortez Acosta, who's in a #1 contender fight right now. So, not bad losses, but those are within his last 3 fights. So it's not like they're early ones. I don't know when Brando Pericic has that one loss, how recent it is, but Gaziev's 2 fights are recent, and Brando Pericic is not Waldo Cortez Acosta, but he's also not Thomas Peterson, who is the most recent guy Shamil Gaziev beat. So I'm going to go with Brando Pericic to win. Not super confidently. I think Shamil might be able to do something here and win, but I'm going to go with Brando Pericic to win just off of his 2 wins so far. Obviously, he's been looking decent. And speaking of one of his wins, Louis Sutherland. Tai Tuivasa versus Louis Sutherland. Next fight on opening up the main card. I didn't pick Tai Tuivasa in any of his most recent fights, which is probably fair because he's lost them, but I think he was going to beat Sean Sharaf and I think he's going to beat Louis Sutherland. So I'm going to go with Tai Tuivasa to win. Probably by decision. Probably. Because I feel like they're going to get tired after the first round, and it's going to just be just running the clock, just trying to get to the end of the fight. And so I'm going to go with Tai Tuivasa to win by decision. This is even though Taliesin Teixeira wasn't that great, he did have height and reach on Tuivasa, and Louis Sutherland has like an inch of reach and an inch of height compared to what Taliesin had. And yeah, I don't think Louis Sutherland's that. He's a lower competition than that. So I'm going to go Tai Tuivasa to win. Prelims. Let's bang these out. Cam Rousen, I think, is going to win. I didn't really believe in him at first. I thought he was going to beat Petrosky, and I picked him to beat Brundage, but I felt like the Brundage fight could have been close. But he's really good. I do think he's could be someone in the rankings eventually. And so I'm going to go Cam Rousen beat Robert Brychek. I think he only has 2 fights in the UFC. And I think his last win wasn't against someone great. I can't remember fully. He beat Brad Tavares. But Brad Tavares is on a bit of a losing streak right now anyways. And he lost to Bataria. And Bataria is not that good. So, yeah, I'm going to go Cam Rousen to win that one. Billy Elikana's son, Junior Tafa, and his other son, Kevin Christian, are fighting. Now, this is 6-5. That's a horrible, not a great record, and 9-3, better record. And I'm just gonna, I don't know, man. I don't know who's gonna win this fight, but I'm gonna just go off since they both fought Billy Elikana. I'm gonna go off that fight. Kevin Christian didn't do much against Billy Elikana. Billy Elikana, even shorter guy, was able to clip him and drop him and get the sub. Against Junior Tafa, Billy Elikana was low-key getting pieced up. Billy Elikana got dropped by Junior Tafa a couple times, like 2-3 times, and then eventually won. But he had to come back in that fight. And so off of that, I think Junior Tafa will be able to find the striking on Kevin Christian. Because Kevin couldn't get it on Billy, Junior Tafa could get it on Billy, and Billy could get the striking off on Kevin. So I'm going to go with Junior Tafa to be able to get the striking off on Kevin. MMA math, man. Fingers crossed. This 6-5 record's very scary. And if he loses, he'll be 6-6. That's insane. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go with Junior Tafa. Jacob Malkoun versus Jared Mearshart. I was low-key surprised. He was the favorite, but I'm surprised Jacob Malkoun beat Torres Finney the way he did. Gerald Mearshart. I don't know if this is a guy he could maybe beat, but I just don't see him beating him. So I'm gonna go with Jacob Malkoun to win, probably by KO, because Gerald Mearshart seems to get hit easy and kind of just like not when he gets hurt, just kind of like hold his hands up like this and not really block or grapple or something. So I'm gonna go with Jacob Malkoun, probably by TKO. But you know, I'd love to see a Gerald Mearshart win. You know, well, we love Gerald Mearshart, right? Colby Thickness versus Vince Morales. Now hear me out, guys. I know Vince Morales is 16-10. Inside the UFC, he has 3 wins and 8 losses. But I'm gonna pick Vince Morales to beat Colby Thickness. I picked Thickness in both of his fights where he lost to Topuria and he beat Josiah Musaisev. But honestly, the Musaisev lost one. The win against him wasn't that great. He looked very, very bad. His striking was very, very bad. And so I've kind of lost hope in him, to be honest. And Vince Morales is not the level of Topuria, obviously, who beat him. But that's Alexandre Topuria, just to be clear. But Vince Morales looked good, decent. Not good, but decent against Elijah Smith, who is a really good prospect and has been doing very well since then. Two great finishes since then. And Vince Morales had him in like Darce chokes and was like doing good on the ground, and I was low-key like scared at times that he was actually gonna finish the fight, which he didn't finish the fight. So maybe that shows how the bad part about him is. But I think his grappling's not that bad. And in his last fight against Raul Roses Jr., Roses Jr. literally has no chin. Not as in he gets knocked out, but like non-existent chin. And so Vince Morales also had Darce chokes on him, and they're looking tight at times. And like the ref was like gonna like was getting close to like maybe step in, but Rosas was like, no, I'm good. But it looked tight, man. And so I think Vince Morales' grappling and wrestling and everything he can do on the ground is gonna win him this fight. I think it will go to decision, but I think his control will outpoint and get him the points on the scorecards overall. So I'm gonna go with Vince Morales as the underdog. I don't know how big of an. Oh, he's only 140. Damn, that's crazy. I don't know what the piss just happened, but I know I was just talking about how bad Colby Thickness has to be only at negative 165. So I'm gonna go with Vince Morales to win. I know that's what I was saying. So I'm excited to see what the other YouTubers pick here. If they're just gonna pick Thickness because of how bad Morales is, or if they're gonna see like he could actually clutch up. So I'm gonna go with Vince Morales. Last couple fights on the card: Benjamin Johnson versus Wes Schultz. Don't know much about these guys. All I know is that Wes Schultz looked very bad against Penis. That's such a fun. I know he's fighting Cesar Almeida. Damian Penis is fighting Cesar Almeida. That's a decent fight, but we'll see how it goes. But he looked really bad in that fight. I'm gonna go Benjamin Johnston. Off of not much, just off of how bad Wes Schultz looked. And dude, Jonathan Mikhailov versus Themba Gorimbo. Dude, I am a big fan of Jonathan Mikhailov. I think he's pretty entertaining. And obviously he didn't look great in his last fight, getting pieced up by Oban Elliott, but he came back and was able to get the sub. And yeah, man, very impressive. And I don't think Themba Gorimbo, I'm surprised Themba lost to Jeremiah Wells, I think what was in his last fight it was. So that's and then I think he got submitted by Luque before that. I don't think he's had a win then since. So I'm gonna go with Jonathan Mikhailov. I think he should win this one. His striking against Kevin Jousset looked pretty good, so I think he has decent striking. And we saw his submission game in his last fight against Oban Elliott and his submission game on his Contender Series. I'm gonna go with the captain, Jonathan Mikhailov. I'm a big fan of him, and so I hope he can win this one and continue to the rankings. I think he could. I think he can hit the rankings. I think he can. Depends how much his defense work improves in the future, but I think he can definitely hit the rankings at some point. And then opening up the main card are the prelims, opening up the entire card. Darl Marfan versus Cody Steele. I'm going to go with the Australian. I think he's Australian. Yeah, I'm going to go with Australian Darl Marfan. I don't know much about these guys. I remember the battle Cody Steele had with Rong Zhu, I think it was. And he lost that one. And then Darl Marfan, I saw his fight on the UFC Perth card, I think it was. Or maybe it was on 325. I think it was on 325. He did Road to the UFC or something like that. I remember seeing his fight. Cody Steele, tough based off his last fight he had. But I'm going to go with Darl Marfan just off of a whim. So the picks for the entire card are Darl Marfan, Jonathan Mikhailov, Benjamin Johnson, Vince Morales, Jacob Malkoon, Junior Tafa, Cam Rouston. On the prelims, main card, Tai Tuivasa, Brando Pericic, Tim Elliott, Quillen Salkield, and Jack Della Maddalena. Those are the picks for the card. Yeah. Dude, I almost forgot, bruh. So, because it's not on the website. They got TBA versus Marwin Rahiki, dude. And Marwin Rahiki, dude, what a guy. Marwin Rahiki, 8-0. Very exciting fighter. Very exciting. Good fight on the Contender Series. Crazy good comeback. And then obviously a good performance against Harry Hardwick. Jack Jenkins pulled out, so the fight's canceled. But it does show, they did show yesterday that he's still on the card against TBA. Now, oh, piss, I gotta look at this, bro. Piss. should have done this before. I did see Carlos Prates's I think his training partner might step in to take the fight. And if it's not him, I'm gonna probably go with Marwin Rahiki to win. I'm gonna go with Marwin Rahiki to win the fight. If it's against some unranked newcomer or just some guy they added to the card randomly just to fill in the spot. But where was it, dude? But I saw his opponent, his teammate might step in, and crap, dude. All right, I finally found out who it is. Marcos Degila. Oh my gosh, Marco Degli. There we go. I think that's it. Not too bad. He's 13-3 or 14-3, sorry. And his record, he beat like not horrible guys, like 4-0, 6-1, 9-1, 8-2, 9-2, 14-4, 9-1. So not horrible, to be honest. Some decent people, like with one loss and a couple wins. So not horrible people, but I think I'm still gonna go with Marwin Rahiki to win, regardless. So unless what is he, 155? I think is that what he is, 155. So unless Faris ZM steps in, unless freaking Armin Sarukian steps in, if Justin Gaethje steps in, if Dustin Poirier steps in, I'm picking against him. But as long as it's not any of those guys, I'm going to go with Marwin Rahiki to win. So those are my picks for UFC Perth, man. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the recap. I'm probably going to drop a recap this week. And yeah, we'll go from there. So appreciate y'all. Deuces.